Jannik Sinner, who has also won the Sunshine Double.
Welcome
Welcome
to the TC Live.
Eighth man ever to win Indian Wells in Miami back-to-back. What does that mean to you?
Well, it means a lot to me. It's something I would have never thought, because it's very, very far, you know. Even though when you win Indian Wells, you come here, different conditions, and physically I felt really good actually. So it has been for sure something we worked on a lot. Serving performance, it helped, you know, because getting some free points, it helps also, you know, physically. And yeah, very happy about, you know, the level I've produced. Obviously, you know, finals are very different to play, and it's also, I have to say that today's conditions were very heavy. They're very different. So we both were struggling, you know, to go through the ball, but I'm very happy about the overall performance.
Take us through that sequence early in the match. You break serve for 2-1, then you're down love 40. Your serve wasn't clicking until then. How did you get the serve going all of a sudden?
Yeah, that's a good question. I wish it would be always like this, but I felt also the first service game that the balls were very, very heavy, so I tried to toss the ball a little bit more in front to get a little bit more whip off the shot. But it's also a bit more risky, obviously, because, you know, you tend to lose the ball a bit more in the net. But I wanted to risk, because from the back of the court I didn't feel very well in the beginning. So even though I broke, so it was for sure a key moment. You know, holding instead of being 2-0, going 3-1, having a little bit more time to breathe, and having then a good rhythm on serve that helped me for sure.
Talk about the evolution of your serve. You won this title a few years ago, and your service motion was completely different. What has it been like to retool your serve and then see the rewards for it that you're seeing this year?
Yeah, first of all, a lot of work and a lot of trust and belief in the team as well, because you know, being young and winning big titles, you know, and then to change, you need to be also mentally quite open. But I always, you know, I want to finish my career saying that I did everything possible to be the best possible version of myself, and you know, if I see this kind of results, it's amazing, you know. So if I would serve the same way as I did a couple of years ago, maybe I would not win, you know. So I always try to improve, trying to understand what's working well and what's not. And, you know, to do so, you need to have a very honest team behind you, even when things are going the right direction, that say, no, look, this doesn't fit you very well, or we need to change this. And I'm someone who doesn't wait, you know. I'm also happy to do it during tournaments sometimes, and yeah, that's for sure is one of my secrets. It doesn't mean that this is the right way, you know. Everyone is different, and this is just my way how I see the sport.
Jannik, you do everything so incredibly well, but you know, I think you're human at the end of the day. The way you bounce back from difficult, significant losses, Roland Garros last year to Wimbledon, you lost US Open final, you had a phenomenal end of the year. After losing in Australia, you come back with this Sunshine Double. How are you able to bounce back and be even better?
Now, for me, I'm someone who, like, when I win, I'm not someone who is like here, and when I lose, I also don't want to put myself under the bus, right? Because if not, it would be not fair to myself also, you know. So and I'm just trying at least to be honest with me, and trying to understand that semi-finals of a Grand Slam is a great result, and you can lose against Novak. It's the best player in history, and then of course Doha was a little bit different, because it's not one of the biggest tournaments, and I went there trying to of course to win, but in the same time trying to understand what the right way is, you know, to play tennis. And then I went to Indian Wells. After Doha, we wanted to go back to Monaco. The weather has been very bad, and then I said, you know what, let's go straight to Indian Wells. We had very, very long practice days, and now thinking back, in 5 weeks or so, I had 1 day off before Indian Wells, and then we arrived here and we had 1 tennis day off because it was raining, you know. So a lot of practice sessions, a lot of long hours, but seeing this result makes me happy, and not only the result but also the way I'm trying to play, you know.
Jannik, you were not able to play these two events last year, Indian Wells and Miami. To come back a year later and to win them both, does it feel like a full circle moment to do that a year later?
Yeah, it has been definitely in my mind. You know, I when I went to Indian Wells, it has been definitely a tournament I've missed, you know, personally, and because you live it in a different way. You have your housing, you know, I had a couple of friends over, and for me, that gave me really good time, you know, also off the court. And yeah, then after I tried, you know, of course, practice and everything, but it has been in my mind, and I really miss this kind of tournaments also because before going to clay, you never know what's happening on clay. Now I don't have a lot of time to adjust, and the body also needs to recover, also mentally after, you know, this month. So let's see how I'm gonna play in Monaco, but this for sure are very important weeks also for the future, I guess.
Well, take us through what this next sequence will be, because I would imagine you're going to be on a plane pretty quickly. Monte Carlo starts a week from tomorrow.
Yeah.
You'll probably won't play till maybe Wednesday or something like that. But Monte Carlo, another tournament you didn't get to play last year. Madrid, I would imagine you're also looking forward to getting back to. Next week, what does that look like for you? Confidence has to be there, but you also need to make the change on the surfaces. So how do you give yourself the rest that you need and then still be ready to go?
Yeah, so I'm gonna jump on the plane tomorrow. I'm gonna be in Monaco around lunchtime on Tuesday. I'm a couple of days off, and we're aiming to go back on court on Thursday. Slow, but you know, to have, you know, the movements again, but the body's gonna hurt a bit. I know that because the movements are a little bit different, of course, on clay, and then we see how I'm gonna feel. Yeah, I'm aiming to play on Tuesday, because if you win, you know, you have 1 day of recovery, which in a new surface helps. But I also need to see how I feel, you know, and but the body is our everything, you know, so I also want to protect it. So let's see how I'm gonna feel.
One of the really fun parts about this event is we get great champions coming out to see great champions do their thing. So I know you had some special conversations with Greg Norman. I'm curious, because you always tell me, you know what, my golf isn't that great. Was Greg able to help you out at all? That looks like a good twosome on the golf course.
Yes, we see. Yeah, he helped me. Look, there's the video. So I have no more excuses. 5 minutes of technical stuff, and look at the swing.
Look at that.
Look also Darren. Darren
He was surprised how good you were all of a
Yeah,
sudden.
Darren is like my second father, so he was like, oh, he's doing great.
Speaking of guys in other sports, this is the second week in a row that you and Kimi Antonelli have lifted trophies on the same day. Are you guys coordinating this now?
No, it was actually funny because I watched, so I sent him obviously a message, and he was like, yeah, good luck to you as well. And so we follow each other, and the funny thing is that also MotoGP, an Italian one, Marco, so